Hey everyone, making a slightly different video than my usual reviews and a day in the life stuff. So I watched Tenet about 3 times and I think I'm quite close to grasping what Christopher Nolan was trying to say with this film. Or maybe he's not saying anything at all and I'm just pulling this out of thin air, but hey, let's just do this for fun anyway. Spoiler warning before we go any further. You should watch Tenet before you watch the rest of this video.
Time travel.
No. Technology that can invert an object's entropy.
You mean reverse chronology? Like Feynman and Wheeler's notion of a positron as an electron, moving backwards in time.
Sure, that's exactly what I meant.
I have a master's in physics.
We'll try and keep up.
Now, unlike our emo Batman here, I don't have a master's in physics, so I'm not gonna try to explain the logic of this movie. I just did what Nolan asked me to do.
Don't try to understand it. Feel it.
What really struck me was how he took a concept that has been done to death since H.G. Wells' The Time Machine and put his own spin on it. In Tenet, there is no time machine or wormhole to 3D fax you back into the past like in Timeline. Instead, they have figured out a way to reverse the entropy of a person, allowing this person to move backwards through time. But unlike in other films, this is not instantaneous. It's not like you jump in a DeLorean and arrive in the 1950s at the flick of a switch. In Tenet, time travel costs time. If you want to go back a day, you have to live through a complete day in reverse. You have to spend the time to get there. And then if you want to get back to the present, or
Back to the Future!
You have to spend time again. So your little trip to yesterday and back cost you 2 days. And correct me if I'm wrong, you also need a special supply of oxygen while you're inverted. So while you have this amazing life-changing gift at your fingertips, there are all these limitations and costs that come with it. And I think that's brilliant. You have to spend time to have time. Nolan's time traveling is never without sacrifice or consequences. We already saw that with Interstellar, where the protagonist had to sacrifice the time he could have spent with his children in order to save the world. In Tenet, this is not as clear or as obvious, but I still think it's there.
And I'm scared of Tenet.
We never see the future world of Tenet. It's beyond our reach and I think purposefully kept hidden by the filmmakers, which really adds to the mystery of it. All we know is that some global catastrophic event destroyed most of it. Some characters think it's a nuclear war, but really it could be anything. It could be pollution or it could be climate change. Whatever the case may be, it's hinted that we are responsible. The mysterious people in the future, all they're trying to do is to reverse the entropy of the Earth in order to reverse the damage that has been done in the past, so they can start over again.
We're so fanatical, they're trying to destroy the world.
I'm not done creating a new one. Somewhere, sometime, a band in a crystalline tower throws a switch, and Armageddon is both triggered and avoided. Not time itself switches direction. The same sunshine we bask in will warm the faces of our descendants generations to come.
And for that, they are willing to sacrifice the past. They are willing to reverse the flow of time itself, which is what our hero is fighting to protect.
I'm the protagonist.
The entropy of the Earth is reversed by using the algorithm. So the people from the future are trying to find all the pieces of this MacGuffin in the past, assemble it and then use it to... wait a minute. So who are the bad guys here? The people in the past or the people in the future? I believe it's neither. I find it fascinating that in order to achieve their goal of saving the Earth, both the future and the past have found themselves in a situation with a conflict of interest. In Tenet, the past and future are locked in a battle against each other, both attempting to save their planet. Once the realization of this hit me, I found it very difficult to pick a side because once you've understood the motivations and the stakes, it's not easy to blame either one for their actions. This internal debate I was experiencing plays out during the film's climactic moments. Sator, in one final attempt to stop the protagonist, lays out the fate of future generations and reveals the mistakes made in the past.
How could they want to kill us? Because their oceans rose and their rivers ran dry. Don't you see? They have no choice but to turn back. We're responsible.
Now ultimately I did root for the protagonist and the characters around him because I was already invested in their story, but it does mess you up to think that because of their actions they may have doomed the future's chances of saving the planet.
Great Scott! I know, this is heavy.
So again I ask, who is the bad guy? Andrei Sator clearly is, but why do I say that? Because he's Gilderoy Lockhart with a stereotypical evil Russian bad guy voice?
How would you like to die?
It's because he's the only one in this film playing against his own team, the one who's willing to sacrifice his wife, child and the entire world for a future he has never seen. He, as the protagonist calls him, is a traitor, the antagonist to the natural flow of time.
Knowing this, do you still want him to stop?
Yes.
Now I'm sure film fans will be arguing for years about Tenet, just like some of you might in the comment section for this video, over who's right and who's wrong, but hey, it's still an intriguing debate.
Is your head hurt yet?
Yes.
And let's not forget, the protagonist may have prevented the reversal of Earth's entropy, but he did not stop World War III and he did not stop climate change. That can still happen regardless. So what's Christopher Nolan really trying to say with this story?
What's happened's happened. Which is an expression of faith in the mechanics of the world. It's not an excuse to do nothing.
Not very subtle.
Fate?
Call it what you want.
What do you call it?
All we have to decide is what to do with the time that is given to us. Much more subtle.
Yeah, it's not very subtle. In fact, with the way this scene is filmed with Pattinson locking eyes with the audience, it's very clear Nolan is speaking directly to us through the protagonist. It's a little cheesy, but I love it. Tenet is exactly why I love filmmakers like Christopher Nolan, and he is a rare breed. He may not be the best, but there's very few directors that can convince a studio to make such an ambitious film filled with really tricky sci-fi concepts, then wow us with spectacular action sequences and gain the attention of not just die-hard sci-fi film nerds, but also that of general moviegoers. So when he delivers a message, people hear it. This movie came out months ago and yet here we are, still talking about it.
For me, I think this is the end of a beautiful friendship.
But for me, it's just the beginning.
So that's how Tenet made me feel. It's endlessly rewatchable and entertaining. I can't wait to watch it again to see what else I might learn from it. Please leave your thoughts in the comment section. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say about this film and to continue this conversation. Thank you for watching and Movie Slinger out.